Good morning. This is Professor Raft, Chapter 9, Principles of Management, Value Chain Management, Functional Strategies for Competitive Advantage. Today's lecture, the learning objectives are the following. Explain the role of functional strategy and value chain management in achieving superior quality, efficiency, innovation, and responsiveness to customers. Describe what customers want and explain why it is so important for managers to be responsive to their needs. Explain why achieving superior quality is so important and understand the challenges facing managers and organizations that seek to implement total quality management. Explain why achieving superior efficiency is so important and the different kinds of techniques that need to be employed to increase efficiency. Differentiate between two forms of innovation and explain why innovation and product development are crucial components of the search for competitive advantage. Figure 9.1 shows 4 ways to create competitive advantage: improving quality, improving innovation, improving efficiency, and improving responsiveness to customers. The result will be competitive advantage in the form of low cost and, of course, differentiation, especially when you're very responsive to your customers and other organizations are not. That'll be a major selling point. Functional strategies and value chain management. Functional level strategy, we started mentioning this in the prior class in Chapter 8, is a plan of action to improve the ability of each of an organization's departments to perform its task-specific activities in ways that add value to an organization's goods and services. What is the value chain? Value chain is a coordinated series or sequences of functional activities necessary to transform inputs such as new product concepts, raw materials, component parts, or professional skills into the finished goods or services customers value and want to buy. Value chain management, development of a set of functional level strategies that support a company's business level strategy and strengthen its competitive advantage. Figure 9.2 looks at the functional activities of the value chain. You have your inputs, which are your new product ideas, marketing research, component parts, which are changed into people's abilities to and knowledge, machines, computers, and of course, outputs, which are goods and services. And on the value chain, you also have the development, the product development function, marketing function, materials management function, production function, sales function, customer function, all are part of this process. Product development, engineering and scientific research activities involved in innovation of new or improved products that add value to a product. Marketing functions, task is to persuade customers that a product meets their needs and convince them to buy it. Materials management function controls the movement of physical materials from the procurement of inputs through production and into distribution and delivery to the customer. Production function responsible for the creation, assembly, or provision of a good or service for transforming inputs into outputs. Sales function plays a crucial role in locating customers and then informing and persuading them to buy the company's products. Customer service function provides after-sales service and support, can create a perception of superior value by solving customer problems and supporting customers. What do customers want? They want a low price to a higher price, high-quality products, quick service and good after-sales service, products with many useful or valuable features, products that are tailored to their unique needs. Customer relationship management is a technique that uses IT to develop an ongoing relationship with customers to maximize the value an organization can deliver to them over time. Figure 9.3, impact of increased quality on organizational performance. It leads to increased reliability, higher prices, increased productivity, lower costs, all which lead to higher profits. Total quality management, we mentioned it before, now we're going to define it, focuses on improving the quality of an organization's products and stresses that all of an organization's value chain activities should be directed toward this goal. Steps to successful TQM implementation: build organizational commitment to quality, focus on the customer, find ways to measure quality, set goals and create incentives, solicit input from employees. Identify defects and trace them to their source so that when you find the source, you're able to improve it and not to fix it and not just treat the symptom, but treat the underlying problem. Introduce just-in-time inventory systems, which basically is a system where you are connected. You are connected to your supplier, and they have a real-time knowledge and perspective of what you're using and how much you're using. And as you're being depleted, they replenish it. But they don't replenish it with a ton of stuff. They replenish it with what you need until the next time it is projected. So you don't carry that much inventory, because if you carry too much inventory, you tie up your cash, and of course inventory tends to walk and get damaged, and you avoid all those issues with having a lower level of inventory. Work closely with suppliers, design for ease of production, and break down barriers between functions. Six Sigma, a technique used to improve quality by systematically improving how value chain activities are performed and then using statistical methods to measure the improvement. Examples: Tyler, Texas, in 2009, facing reduced revenues from sales, taxes, and sluggish property values, the city hired a Six Sigma Master Black Belt and began training city employees in Lean Six Sigma. As we were saying, in 2009, facing reduced revenues from sales, taxes, and sluggish property values, the city hired a Six Sigma Master Black Belt and began training city employees in Lean Six Sigma. By 2014, when it was announced that Lean Six Sigma programs had saved more than $5 million for the city, and almost 27% of the city employees had been trained in Lean Six Sigma and worked on Lean Six Sigma projects as part of their regular workloads. And of course, you have to understand, a lot of these cities, if the industries within the city go under, it destroys the city. I mean, just look at Detroit, for example. After the debacle of the housing and the loans market, the whole mortgage issue back in the late 2000s, Detroit kind of went out of business. Many neighborhoods became shells, and they looked like they went through a war because the automotive industry was impacted. So it's very important that you save communities and you do whatever you've got to do, increase productivity and do what you got to do. Facilities layout, for example, which is a strategy of designing the machine-worker interface to increase operating system efficiency. Flexible manufacturing, the set of techniques that attempt to reduce the costs associated with the product assembly process or the way services are delivered to customers. Excuse me. Figure 9.4 looks at three different facility layouts. You can have a product layout, which basically, well, actually, let's jump to the appendix. It's a little bit easier. Product layout is linear. As you can see, the three little dots connected to each other. 4 elements leading consecutively to the final product. Process layout is a square, each corner moving to the other and relating diagonally, leading to a final product. And of course, fixed position layout gives a circle in the middle with 4 squares acting on it from top, bottom, and slides. So if you wanted to look at it from the perspective of an assembly line, you can have an assembly line that's linear. Process layout is a square, which each corner moving toward the other, and then of course relating diagonally. And the fixed position would be the car chassis in the middle and everybody working on the car at the same time, kind of like a pit crew in a NASCAR race. Let's go back to slide 24. This is going to be the narrative that we just spoke out, so therefore I'm going to go through a little bit rapidly. Product layout: machines are organized so that each operation is performed at workstations arranged in a fixed sequence. Process layout: self-contained workstations are not organized in a fixed sequence. The product goes to whichever workstation is needed to perform the next operation to complete the product. Fixed position layout: the product stays in a fixed position and components produced at remote stations are brought to the product for the final assembly. Flexible manufacturing aims to reduce time required to set up production equipment by redesigning the process, setup times, and costs that can be drastically reduced, able to produce many more varieties of a product than before in the same amount of time. Just-in-time delivery, as I mentioned, inventory systems gets components to the assembly line just as they are needed to drive down costs, specifically having too much inventory on hand. Major cost savings can result from increasing inventory turnover and reducing inventory holding costs, which is what I was focusing on. Self-managed work teams produce an entire product instead of just parts of it. Team members learn all tasks and move from job to job. Team can increase productivity and efficiency. And of course, tremendous amount of cohesiveness. Process reengineering, the fundamental rethinking of and radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvement in critical measures of performance such as cost, quality, service, and speed. Quantum product innovation, development of new, often radically different kinds of goods and services because of fundamental shifts in technology brought about by pioneering discoveries. Incremental product innovation, the gradual improvement and refinement of existing products that occur over time as existing technologies are perfected. Product development, management of the value chain activities involved in bringing new or improved goods and services to the market. Strategies to promote innovation and speed product development involve both customers and suppliers, establish a stage gate developmental funnel, and establish cross-functional teams. Stage gate developmental funnel is a planning model that forces managers to choose among competing projects so organizational resources are not spread thinly over too many projects, and the ones that deserve and need to be addressed get the resources that they need to continue. Look at figure 9.5 for information about that. We could jump to the appendix. The graphic consists of a box broken in stage 1, 2, 3. Stages 1 and 2 are separated by gate 1. Stages 2 and 3 are separated by gate 2. Ideas go into stage 1, funneling into stage 2, narrowing into stage 3, and then ship out. So therefore, it's like a filtering process, if you will. It's like filtering. It's kind of like a beer. You do a lot of filtering, and therefore the hops add the right amount of flavor to the beer, and it's a triple, quadruple filtered beer, and it tastes much better. Think of it in those terms for those of you that enjoy a good beer once in a while. Product development gate, a plan that specifies all of the relevant information a managers need in order to decide whether to proceed with a full-blown product development effort or not. Contract book, a written agreement that details product development factors such as responsibilities, resource commitments, budgets, timelines, and development milestones. Core members of a team who bear primary responsibility for the success of a project and who stay with a project from inception to completion. Figure 9.6, members of cross-functional product developmental team. You have your team leader, and you have all the individuals and groups that report directly to him. Next, you can look at a video of Goodwill, and it'll give you an important perspective. The end of this chapter deals with all the appendices, which we kind of spoke out already. I thank you all for joining, and please stay safe and make sure that you are healthy in this crazy pandemic.